Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Paragalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanajana Shalakya Chakshuramritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bhishtam Supurakam Garganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Vidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Premna Vibijapradam Devam Divyatanam Tanum Suchanda Varanam Balaka Chailanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidya Buddhi Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Bandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Bansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. So this is Madhya-lila chapter 9. Lord Chaitanya travels to the holy places. So I'll start with verse number 302. Emata duijane ishtagoshti kori Dharaka dekite chalila Sri Rangapuri. After finishing his talks with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rangapuri started for Dwarkadam. Dinachari Datta Prabhu ke Rakila Brahman Bhimanadi Snanakori Korina Vitala Darshan. After Sri Rangapuri departed for Dwarka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained with the Brahman at Pandharpur for 4 more days. He took his bath in the Bhima river and visited the temple of Vitala. Tabe Mahaprabhu Aila Krishna Benwatire Nana Tirtha Deki Taha Devata Mandire. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next went to the bank of the Krishna Venva river, where he visited many holy places and the temples of various gods. Brahmana Samaj Sab Vaishnava Charita Vaishnava Sakala Pade Krishna Karnamrita. The Brahman community there was composed of pure devotees. They regularly studied a book entitled Krishna Karnamrita, which was composed by Bilva Mangal Thakur. Krishna Karnamrita Shuni Prabhurananda Hoila Agraha Koriya Panti Lekaya Loila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to hear the book Krishna Karnamrita, and with great eagerness he had it copied and took it with him. Krishnamrita Sam Vastu Nahi Tribhuvane Jahoite Hoy Krishna Shuddha Prema Jnane. There is no comparison to the Krishna Karnamrita within the 3 worlds. By studying this book, one is elevated to the knowledge of pure devotional service to Krishna. Saundarya Madhurya Krishna Lilarabadi Sejane Jay Karnamrita Pare Nirabadi One who constantly reads the Krishna Karnamrita can fully understand the beauty and melodious taste of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So here in the previous verse it says, Ja hoy te hoy Krishna Shuddha Prema Jnani. That is there's no other book like Krishna Karnamrita in the three worlds. And from that Krishna Karnamrita, one is one can understand Shuddha Prema Jnani, knowledge of Shuddha Prema, or pure love of Godhead, or pure love of Krishna. Saundarya Madhurya Krishna Lila Ravadi Sejani Jay Karnamrita Pade Niravadi. One who constantly reads the Krishna Karnamrita can fully understand the beauty and melodious taste of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Brahma Samhita Karnamrita Dvipantipaya Maharatna Praya Pai Aila Sangelaya. The Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrita were two books that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered to be most valuable jewels. Therefore, he took them with him on his return trip. So Mahaprabhu had found the 5th chapter of the Brahma Samhita when he visited the temple of Adi Keshava in South India. And here, when he went to the bank of the Krishna Venva river, he was able to find the book Krishna Karnamrita by Bilva Mangal Thakur. So the Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrita were two books that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered to be most valuable jewels. Therefore, he took them with him on his return trip. So he's now returning from his tour of South India, and he's going back to Puri, and he's taken with him these two books, Brahma Samhita and Krishna Karnamrita. And Brahma Samhita is dealing principally with understanding the Siddhanta, the conclusions of devotional service. And Krishna Karnamrita is dealing with understanding of what is actually Krishna Prema, or understanding of the rasa of service and love of Godhead. Tapi snana kore aila mahishmati pore nana tirtha deki tahan Narmadara tire. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next arrived at the banks of the river Tapi. After bathing there, he went to Mahishmatipur. While there, he saw many holy places on the banks of the river Narmada. Dhanush tirtha deki korila Nirvindyate snane Rishamukha Giriaila Dandukaranye. The Lord next arrived at Dhanush Tirtha, where he took his bath in the river near Vindhya. He then arrived at Rishamukha mountain and then went to Dandakaranya. So Dandakaranya was the forest where Lord Ramachandra stayed during his exile. Saptatala Brikadeke Karana Bitar Ate Brida Ate Stula Ate Uchatar. Within the Dandakaranya forest, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited a place called Saptatala. The 7 palm trees there were very old, very bulky, and very high. The name Saptatala is mentioned in the Kishkinya section of the Ramayana and is described in the 11th to 12th chapter of that section. Saptatala Deki Prabhu Alingana Koila Shasharire Saptatala Vaikunta Chalila. Upon seeing the 7 palm trees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them. As a result, they all returned to Vaikuntha Loka, the spiritual world. Shunya Stala Dekil Lokera Hoila Chamatkar Lokikohe E Sannyasi Rama Avatar. After the 7 palm trees had departed for Vaikuntha, everyone was astonished to see that they were gone. The people then began to say, this sannyasi called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be an incarnation of Lord Ramachandra. Shasharire Talagela Sri Vaikuntadam Aiche Sakti Kare Hoi Bina Egram. Only Lord Ramachandra has the power to send 7 palm trees to the spiritual Vaikuntha planets. Prabhuanishi, Koila, Pamba, Sarovare Snan, Panchavati, Asitahan, Korila, Vishram. Eventually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at a lake known as Pampa, where he took his bath. He then went to a place called Panchavati, where he rested. Nastike Triambaka Deki Gela Brahmagiri Kushavarte Aila Jahan Janmila Godavari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited Nashik, where he saw the deity of Triambaka, Lord Shiva. He then went to Brahmagiri and then to Kushavarta, the source of the river Godavari. Sapta Godavari Aila Kori Tirtha Bahutar Punarapi Aila Prabhu Vidyanagar. After visiting many other holy places, the Lord went to Sapta Godavari. At last he returned to Vidyanagar. Ramananda Roy Shuni Prabhur Agaman Anande Asiya Koila Prabhu Sahamilan. When Ramananda Roy heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had arrived, he was very pleased and he immediately went to see him. Dandavadhoya Pade Charane Dorya Alingana Koila Prabhu Tare Utaya. When Ramananda Roy fell flat touching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord immediately raised him to his feet and embraced him. Duijane Prema Veshe Korana Krandan Premanande Shitala Hoila Duha Karaman. In great ecstatic love, they both began to cry, and thus their minds were slackened. Katakane Duijana Shushtira Hoya Nana Ishta Goshti Kore Ekatra Basya. After some time, they regained their senses and sat together to discuss various topics. Tirtha Jata Kata Prabhu Sakala Kohila Karnamrita Brahma Shamhita Parai Duijana. Tirtha Jatra Kata Prabhu Sakala Kohila Karnamrita Brahma Samhita Dui Punti Dila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Ramananda Roy a vivid description of his travels to the holy places and told him how he had acquired the two books named Krishna Karnamrita and Brahma Samhita. The Lord delivered the books to Ramananda Roy. Prabhu Kohe Tumi Jai Siddhanta Kohile Edui Punti Se Sab Saki Dile. The Lord said, whatever you have told me about devotional service is all supported by these two books. Bayarananda Hoila Pushtaka Paya Prabhu Saha Ashwadila Rakila Likiya. Ramananda Roy was very happy to receive these books. He tasted their contents along with the Lord and made a copy of each. Gosai Aila Grame Hoila Kolaha Prabhu Ke Dekite Log Aila Sakal. News spread in the village of Vidyanagar about the arrival of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and everyone came to see him once again. So I went with Srila Prabhupada to the place where Mahaprabhu had met with Ramananda Roy by the Godavari. So Mahaprabhu is now on his return, and he'll go back from there to Jagannath Puri, but he's extensively toured South India. He gave the reason that he wanted to go because he wanted his elder brother Vishwarup had taken sannyas and left home and nobody knew about him. But actually Vishwarup during that time had departed from the world. He passed away. And Mahaprabhu, being the omniscient Lord, he knows that, but he still gave that as a reason why he wanted to go to South India. But it is said that the real reason Mahaprabhu wanted to go to South India is he wanted to spread and preach to everyone in South India. He wanted to spread Krishna consciousness there. So he was gone for some time. He's going on an extensive tour, and in those days, sannyasis, they're traveling by foot everywhere he walked. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has established footprints in many of the places where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited in South India. So now he's returning and he's meeting with Ramananda Roy, who he met with at the beginning of his tour. Lokadeki Ramananda Gela Nijagare Madhyane Utila Prabhu Bhikka Koribare. After seeing the people who gathered there, Sri Ramananda Roy returned to his own home. At noon, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to take his lunch. Ratri Kale Rai Puna Koila Agaman Duijane Krishna Kataya Koila Jagaran. Sri Ramananda Roy returned at night, and he and the Lord discussed topics concerning Krishna. Thus they passed the night. Duijane Krishna Kata Kohe Ratri Dine Paramanande Gila Panchashata Dine. Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed Krishna day and night, and thus they passed from 5 to 7 days in great happiness. So, when Mahaprabhu arrives, meets with Ramananda Roy, he spends 5 to 7 days there before returning to Puri. he's discussing with Ramananda Roy. And when Mahaprabhu later met with Rupa and Sanatan in North India, then Mahaprabhu, well, I don't know if you call it North India, sometimes it's said Vrindavan is West India, and then Mahaprabhu has traveled from Puri to Ramakeli, where Rupa and Sanatan were doing government service. But from there, he met Rupa Goswami in Prayag, and he met Sanatan Goswami in Varanasi. They had left their government service, and Mahaprabhu asked them to go to Vrindavan. But he met them in those two places, in Prayag and in Varanasi. Ramananda Kohe Prabhu Tomara Agyabhaya Rajaki Likilun Ani Vinoy Korea. Ramananda Roy said, "My dear Lord, with your permission, I have already written a letter to the king with great humility." Because the Ramananda Roy, he was a minister in the Muslim government, but after that he after that he was to join with Mahaprabhu. So I'm trying to think, right? Ramananda, Rupa and Sanatan are in the Muslim government, and Ramananda Roy is working with Maharaj Pratraparudra, not the Muslim government. Ramananda Roy said, "My dear Lord, with your permission, I have already written a letter to the king with great humility. Rajamore Agyadila Nilachali Jaite Shalibara Ujogami Lagiache Korite." The king had already given me an order to return to Jagannath Puri. The king has already given me an order to return to Jagannath Puri, and I'm making arrangements to do this. So the king, Pratraparudra, when Ramananda Roy asked to be relieved of his duties in the government, and that he wanted to be with Mahaprabhu, Maharaj Pratraparudra was so happy, and he gave Ramananda Roy a full pension, even though he wasn't going to be continuing in the government service. Ramananda Roy was relieved of all his duties by the king and given a full pension. Prabhu kohe etamore e nimite agaman tomaloya nila chali koriba gaman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "It is for this purpose alone that I have returned. I want to take you with me to Jagannath Puri. Rai kohe Prabhu age chala nila chale mora sange hati goda Shanya Kolahale." Ramananda Roy said, "My dear Lord, it is better that you proceed to Jagannath Puri alone, because with me there will be many horses, elephants, and soldiers, all roaring tumultuously." So when I return to Puri, then I'll be going with so many people and so many horses and elephants and soldiers, so it will be a disturbance to you. Tells to Mahaprabhu, "So you go ahead, and I will soon join you, but I have to travel in this way." Dinadashi hasavar kore samadan tomara pache pache hame koriba prayan. I shall make arrangements within 10 days. Following you, I shall go to Nilachala without delay. Tabe Mahaprabhu tare asita agyadiya Nilachale chalila Prabhu Anandita Hoya. Giving orders to Ramananda Roy to come to Nilachala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed for Jagannath Puri with great pleasure. So after the meeting, Mahaprabhu was very eager that Ramananda Roy will join him. And in fact, we know that Mahaprabhu's Madhya-lila, his final pastimes, is all done in the association of Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar. Is talking with them day and night. Jai Pate Purbe Prabhu Koilagaman Se Pate Chalila Deke Sarva Vaishnavagan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned by the same road he had formerly taken to Vidyanagar, and all the Vaishnavas along the way saw him again. Jahan Jai Lok Ute Haridwani Kori Deki Anandita Man Hoila Gorahari. Wherever Mahaprabhu went, the holy name of Sri Hari was vibrated. Seeing this, the Lord became very happy. Allalanate Ase Krishnadase Pataila Nityanandari Nija Gane Bolaila. When the Lord reached Allalanath, he sent his assistant Krishnadas ahead to call for Nityananda Prabhu and other personal associates. Prabhu Ragaman Shuni Nityananda Rai Utiya Chalila Premed Tehanahi Pai. As soon as Nityananda Prabhu received news of the arrival of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he immediately got up and started out to see him. Indeed, he was very impatient in his great ecstasy. Jagadananda Damodar Pandit Mukunda Nachya Chalila Dehe Nak Darayananda Sri Nityananda Roy. Sri Nityananda Roy, Jagadananda, Damodar Pandit, and Mukunda all became ecstatic in their happiness, and dancing along the way, they went to meet the Lord. Well, to travel on pilgrimage throughout South India has taken the Lord some time, and now he's sent his servant Krishnadas ahead and tell the devotees in Puri that he's returning. So now they're very happy and they're very eager to meet him. Gopinathacharya Chalila Nandita Hoya Prabhu Re Milila Sabe Pate Lag Paya. Gopinathacharya also went in a very happy mood. They all went to meet the Lord, and they finally contacted him on the way. So Tuesday you don't go for flowers, huh?
No, but I'm going to meet Lakshmi Priya in Soquel and bring her up here to work on the flowers.
Oh, that's nice. Gopinathacharya also went in a very happy mood. They all went to meet the Lord, and they finally contacted him on the way. Prabhu Prema Veshe Savai Koila Alingan Prema Veshe Savai Koriyananda Krandan. The Lord was also filled with ecstatic love, and he embraced them all. Out of their love, they began to cry with pleasure. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Nande Chalila Samudrera Tire Ashe Prabhure Milila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also went to see the Lord with great pleasure, and he met him on the bench. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also went to see the Lord with great pleasure, and he met him on the beach by the sea. Sarvabhauma Mahaprabhu Parila Charane Prabhutare Utaya Koila Lingane. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord pulled him up and embraced him. Premaveshe Sarvabhauma Korila Rodane Sabasange Aila Prabhu Ishwara Darshane. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cried in great ecstatic love. Then the Lord, accompanied by them all, went to the temple of Jagannath. Jagannath darshan primaveshe koila kampasveda pulakashrute sharira pasila. Due to ecstatic love experienced upon visiting Lord Jagannath, inundations of trembling, perspiration, tears, and jubilation swept the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bahunitya Gita Koila Prema Vishta Hoya Panda Pala Aila Sabe Mala Prashada Loya. In ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and chanted. At that time, all the inhabitants and priests came to offer him a garland and the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food. Mala Prasad Paya Prabhu Shushtir Hoila Jagannath there Sevak Sab Anande Milila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became patient after receiving the garland and prasadam of Lord Jagannath. All the servants of Lord Jagannath met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great pleasure. So Mahaprabhu was very ecstatic to see the devotees, and when he gets the prasadam of Lord Jagannath now, he's very happy, and it says here he became patient. He is no longer he's able to deal with this, with everything. Kashi Mishra, Ashi Prabhu, Padila Charane, Manya Kori Prabhu Tare, Koila Lingane. Afterward, Kashi Mishra came and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord respectfully embraced him. Prabhu Loya Sarvabhauma Nijagari Gela, Moragare Bhikkaboli, Nimantrana Koila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then took the Lord with him to his home, saying, today's luncheon will be at my home. In this way, he invited the Lord. Divya Mahaprasad Aneka Anaila Tita Paya Adi Jagannatha Jai Kaila. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought various types of food remnants that had been taken by Lord Jagannath. He brought all kinds of cakes and condensed milk preparations. So sometimes I see that translation. This is a translation that's given a pita pana, but it's actually not. Pita pana consists of some kinds of special kinds of like cake, and it's usually fruit drinks, but it's something that's prepared traditionally in Orissa. It's not so much a milk preparation, but it's a drink and some cakes. Madhyana Korila Prabhu Nijagana Loya Sarvabhauma Gare Bhikka Korila Asya. Accompanied by all his associates, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house and took his noon lunch there. Bhikka Karanya Tare Korila Shayan Apane Sarvabhauma Kore Parasambahan. After offering food to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made him lie down to rest, and he personally began to massage the legs of the Lord. Prabhu Tare Pataila Bhojana Korite Se Ratri Taragare Rohila Taraprite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then sent Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take his lunch, and the Lord remained that night in his home just to please him. So he stays there with Sarvabhauma for the night. He's close to Jagannath Puri, but he remains with them to satisfy Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya before he returns. Sarvabhauma Sangyara Loya Nijagan Tirtha Jatra Kata Kohi Koila Jagaran. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates remained with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They all stayed awake the entire night as the Lord spoke of his pilgrimage. So Mahaprabhu had gone to Puri from Navadip. He had, during the month of January, Makara Sankranti. Makara Sankranti is like when the sun enters in Capricorn, as we would say in the West. So that's according to the solar calendar. That's not according to the lunar calendar. So that's all. Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and that's, we say, he left his home in Navadip with Mother Sachi, Mayapur. He left around January 13th. He took sannyas around the 15th or 16th, and then that was in the month of Magh, January, and then February, which is Falgun, the month of Falgun, according to the Bengali calendar. Then he traveled. He was asked by Mother Sachi not to go to Vrindavan, but to be in Puri, because otherwise she wouldn't hear anything about him. So he went to Puri in the month of Falgun, and then he converted, the next month, converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And then after that, almost immediately after that, he went to South India on tour. So he hadn't been in Puri very long, and he's been gone for some time. Now everybody knows about him because all the persons in Jagannath Puri are anxiously waiting for Mahaprabhu to come back. Now he's come back, and they're all happy to receive him. But Mahaprabhu previously hadn't been there very long, so now they're going to arrange that place of Kashi Mishra, which is called the Gambhir, where he will stay for so many years. But all this had happened, going to Puri and then going to South India. It all happened very quickly. Prabhu Kohe et Tirtha Koilun Pariyantan Tomasam Vaishnava Nadekilun Ekjan. What had not happened quickly is Mahaprabhu returning from South India, because he's traveling to all these holy places on foot and taking time, and now everyone's waiting for him. The Lord told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I have traveled to many holy places, but I could not find a Vaishnava as good as you anywhere. So it's said that Mahaprabhu was actually praising his own creation, because previously Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was more inclined towards explaining things in an impersonalist way, but now he's become so much of a changed person. Now he's a very much devoted and attached to Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu has come back from South India, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj has said, a Bengali saying is, Purber neye utarer, Purber neye paschimer meye utarer kata dakiner mata. And that means Purber neye. In the east side, like Bangladesh, Bengal, and the east side, Purber neye, you'll get a good boatman, because there's so many rivers and everything. You always have to cross both rivers by boat. So Purber neye. In Bengal, in the east side of India, you'll get a good boatman. Purber neye paschimer meye. Paschimer meye is like, means in the west side. In the west side, you can say Vrindavan West, mostly we would say, like west side, we'll think of maybe Mumbai, Maharashtra, Paschimir May. It means the east side you get a good boatman, and the west side you get a good wife. It's just the saying. Don't ask me to explain it. Uttarer Kata. In the north side of India, you get good understanding of kata, like, because that's the place of Veda Vyas in Badrinath and everything. So in the north side, you get good language, kata, or good, and Dakiner Mata. In the south side of India, you get Dakiner Mata means good brain. So in South India, you get good brain. And it said all the prominent acharyas, they were from South India. Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka Acharya, even Shankaracharya, they're all from South India. So, but now Mahaprabhu is telling his own creation. He's telling Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I have traveled to many holy places, and the place of great philosophical understanding, but I could not find a Vaishnava as good as you anywhere. I couldn't find anyone. So we heard Guru Maharaj saying, Mahaprabhu is actually praising his own creation, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Ek Ramananda Rai Bahu Sukadila Batako He Elagi Mili De Kohila. Mahaprabhu continued, I received much pleasure from the talks of Ramananda Roy. The Bhattacharya replied, for this reason, I requested that you meet him. So before Mahaprabhu left for South India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked him to meet with Ramananda Roy. He said, I couldn't, before I couldn't recognize how Ramananda Roy is a great devotee, but now after he had been converted by Mahaprabhu, he said, I can appreciate Ramananda Roy, you should meet with him. In the Sri Chaitanya Chandradoya, beginning of the 8th act, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sarvabhauma, I have traveled to many holy places, but I cannot find a Vaishnava as good as you anywhere. However, I must admit that Ramananda Roy is wonderful. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replies, therefore, my Lord, I requested that you see him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then says, there are, of course, many Vaishnavas in these holy places, and most of them worship Lord Narayan. Others who are called Tattvavadis are also Lakshmi Narayan worshippers, but they do not belong to the pure Vaishnava cult. There are many worshippers of Lord Shiva, and there are also many atheists. Regardless, my dear Bhattacharya, I very much like Ramananda Roy and his opinions. Tirtha Jatra Kata E Koilun Samapan Sankepe Kohilun Vishtar Najai Varnan. Thus I have ended my narration about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage, describing it in brief. It cannot be described very broadly. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur points out that in the 74th verse of this chapter it is stated that Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Shiali Bhairavi, but actually at Shiali, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Sri Bhu Varaha. Near Shiali in Chidambar, there is a temple known as Sri Mushnam. In this temple, there is a deity of Sri Bhu Varaha. In the jurisdiction of Chidambaram, there is a district known as Southern Arcata. The temple of Shiali is in that district. There is a temple of Sri Bhu Varaha Dev nearby, not Bhairavi Devi. This is Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur's conclusion. So some clarification that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati makes. Now, in the temple of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, the Shalagram, the principal D is Varaha Dev, right? And that is the deity of Koladvip. Ananta Chaitanya, Radhe. Ananta Chaitanya Lila Kohitena Jani Lobe Loja Gana Gana Tara Kori Tanatani. As a Shalagram and Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj was given that deity, and he was told that wherever that deity was before, there was chaos. There were so many problems, but the Shalagram, Varaha Shalagram, came to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj could understand by the worship that the deity wanted to be offered every day sweet rice, panamana. When he did that, then the deity was happy. Ananda Chaitanya Lila Kohitena Jani Lobe Laja Ganatara Kori Tanatani. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited. No one can properly describe his activities, yet I make the attempt out of greed. This but reveals my shamelessness. Prabhu Tirtha Jatra Kata Shune Jai Jan Chaitanya Charane Pai Gata Premadan. Whoever hears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pilgrimage to various holy places attain the riches of very deep ecstatic love. Chaitanya Charita Shuna Shraddha Bhakti Kori Matsarya Chadiya Mukhe Bol Hari Hari. Please hear the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith and devotion. Giving up envy of the Lord, everyone chant the Lord's holy name, Hari. Ekali Kale Ar Nahi Kon Dharma Vaishnava Vaishnava Shastra Ekohe Marma. In this age of Kali, there are no genuine religious principles other than those established by Vaishnava devotees and the Vaishnava scriptures. This is the sum and substance of everything. Chaitanya Chandrara Lila Agara Gambhir Pravesha Korite Nari Sparshi Rahi Tira. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like an unfathomable ocean. It is not possible for me to enter into it. Simply standing on the shore, I am but touching the water. Chaitanya Charita Shraddhaya Shunijay Jan Jatake Vichare Tata Pai Premadan. The more one hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith, analytically studying them, the more one attains the ecstatic riches of love of Godhead. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijaras Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijaras Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. As usual, the author concludes the chapter by reciting the names of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath and reinstating himself at their lotus feet. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, 9th chapter, describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travels to many holy places in South India. And now we'll sing Sripad. Did you sing the Sri Hari Vasari Giti? Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ki Jai. Tadiya Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Ranganath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Ranganath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Premasigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Harshivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Vishvabharinya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Namadeep Dham ki Jai. Shri Mayapur ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Koladvip ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki Jai. Ganga Devi ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Madam ki Jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shrina Shringadev ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhara Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Shri Akadasi Upavas ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivakacharya Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki